We're not gay. All we talk about is eating pussy and fracking, you know?
Imagine if you had like a karaoke device where you sang in it, you sound amazing. But then when you put your song out, it sounded like shit.
Dude,
It only sounded amazing through these.
do you hate the way your voice sounds on recordings?
No, it's my favorite thing to listen to.
Actually, yeah, no, that's right. For me, when I listen to my voice on recordings,
I'm
it drives me
my
insane.
favorite fan. I listen to all my content. the most minutes of watch time.
Do you want me to switch over there?
Actually, we're gonna finish up.
Okay.
So, do you want to? You want to talk about what your revenue is right now?
Sure.
Have you made more than $1 million in a year?
No.
Are you making more than 10,000 in a month?
Not yet. I've done about 10 grand 1 month last summer when shit got real busy. Right now it sits between like 3 and 5 grand
A day?
No, a month.
A month.
Yeah, I'm on one man shop and classes are slow as fuck. But randomly, it like from what I've seen, they're pretty slow for a lot of guys.
Everything's slow.
Yeah. But like I did my first shotgun. Well, I guess I did it privately, but I did my first open enrollment shotgun class and fucking 8 people. Like I literally had to borrow steel targets.
How far will you travel to do a class?
Dude, I want to go there.
Is your shotgun class rad?
It's simple. It's okay. So I'm like trying to think. I think like the Rifleman 2, there's a video up. Carry pistol 2, we're gonna put that as a 2-day class now. Like those are like my more ones that I'm like, this is the shit. Because carry pistol 1, Rifleman 1, there's a lot of information. Like if you took fighting pistol, it's not the same. You know, there's crossover, of course, but there's a lot of information. It is stringing through a fire hose, but it's more like baseline information. You know, we do cover like medical stuff. Like you're applying tourniquets, you're applying a tourniquet, and you're fighting. You're continuing to shoot.
And this is a first class that they can take.
Yeah, because the way I look at it is like, okay, if on your way home from day 2 of this class you got in a gunfight, I need you to win. You know, people are depending on you. Also,
you almost need like a selection for your class.
I mean,
like,
it's
like a 1 week pre-sniper to sniper.
Not really, because it's also like I do explain to people too. Like these are the things that I believe should be your basic knowledge, right? There's gonna be some shit that you struggle with, but it's okay. I need you to follow the 4 firearm safety rules. Do the things I say and ask questions if you don't understand.
Give me the 4 firearm safety rules.
Treat every gun as if loaded. Keep your gun pointing in a safe direction. Keep your finger straight off the trigger and high off the trigger guard until your gun is aimed at the target and you're ready to fire.
On target.
Know your target, what's in between you and the target, around the target, and beyond. And this is one of those things, too, where like, hey, like if you want to be my favorite student, memorize those exactly the way I said and be able to apply a tourniquet, like say it's staged in your
Is that
hand.
exactly how James says it?
No, different.
Yeah.
It's probably different than everyone.
So why don't you put it on a shirt?
Because I want to put kill pedophile, all pedophiles on a shirt. I hate making shirts, honestly.
No,
you're not. Took them off my
but
website.
You're not going to make shirts.
Right now, I'd have to. I don't have the capital to be able to pay someone to make a run of them. So right now, I am very punk rock making DIY, making my own.
Okay, so are you just using heat transfer?
No, I want to look into that. I've been doing screen.
Okay, stop that.
It sucks.
No, it's great, but it's labor, man.
Yeah.
There are whole entire TikTok and Instagram channels. There's a couple black dudes, right?
Yeah.
And all they like, dude, we watch them like, holy fuck, we could do that in art. And I'm not even talking about making the shirt. I'm just talking about his presentation, his packaging, his shipping. The dude always like I watch every one of these videos in an industry that I'm never going to step foot in. I don't want anything to do with that.
Woodworking.
And there's some, and I pick up shit out of those, right?
Right.
You need to build your brand to a point that your brand is recognizable and people want to buy it. If you had those range safety rules on I think of this. I'm at sushi or I'm someplace out in public in a line what are they reading on my back? And then they're like, who is this? What's this about, right? So they're going to look and see what the company is or what the front of the shirt says.
But the thing too is that like firearm safety rules are hugely important, right?
Yes.
And but it's not like to me in my brain, a sexy thing to put on a shirt. It's hugely important.
Have you ever seen it on a shirt?
No.
That's right. And it says Combat Arts Training. There it is. They're
Arts.
going to read it. Combat Arts. See? So go get the URL right now before this comes out. It costs you $15. Redirect it.
Yeah.
So Combat Art Training. It's represented wherever, on the back also.
Yeah.
But it's got that. When you're standing in line at Home Depot or Lowe's, are they reading your shirt? And chances are they are.
Yeah.
Chances are they are.
You know,
mine all say motherfucking USA. People all the time. We're out in public. If I have a fucking flag, women come out of their way. I love your shirt.
Right.
Old men, especially men that have a Vietnam hat on or they're prior servicemen. That's a conversation.
Right.
Always. We're in Lowe's and I see this couple buying buckets and I'm like, you putting bullets or beans in those? And she's like, we already got all the bullets. We're putting beans in these ones. And now we talk. And I'm like, it's a black couple, a husband and wife there in Jackson. I'm like, hey, you should come out to our Self-Reliance Festival. Here's my YouTube page. Pull your Instagram up. Yep, don't ever tell them what it is. Tell them to pull it up, type in, and then they'll type it in. Subscribe. Now we can talk, right?
Do you
call to action.
You know, there's a thing you can get where it's just
QR code.
Yeah. Do you have that?
No.
Oh, dude, it's money.
You're right.
It's
I should.
fucking money. Kevin Dixie told me about it because I hate business cards. Because making that or having them and shit, and I've thrown away so many, you know. But that is money for me. What was it? Shit, what was I gonna say? The shirt that I was making, where it says "Keep fighting communism," on top of blood splatter from Che Guevara taking a brace.
I saw it.
A brace. Headshot, like a Glock underneath right here.
Yeah, do the one of them throwing them out of helicopters too.
People told me like, you shouldn't make that.
Why?
People love that shit.
Right.
They fucking love it.
So, what's our run? Well, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it.
But no, do you want to talk about why I say them that way?
Say them. Tell me.
Okay, so treat every guns are full loaded, right?
Yes.
And you could also put
because there's plenty of people that have been shot by unloaded guns.
No one's ever said, "Man, I thought it was loaded," and then I shot myself in the foot.
Right.
Right. But plenty of dumb motherfuckers have said, "It's all right, it's not loaded," right? And as James said, "No, it's not," right? And you could even say, I might even change it to this way: treat every gun as if it were always loaded, right? But there are times we unload the guns, whatever. Okay, but we treat every gun as if they're loaded. Number one, okay? The original firearm safety rule that everyone followed used to simply be all guns are always loaded. And that used to be it. But then people fucked that up, and they added 3 more, right? So next one, you usually hear don't let your muzzle cross anything you don't want intend to
James
destroy.
always said act as though it's a lightsaber.
Yes.
That continues to run.
Yeah.
So wherever it goes, right?
Right.
We were in a class. We went up to film for SWAT TV magazine, I think.
Yeah.
James and a bunch of alumni dudes, some cadre. I went with them to Indianapolis. Maybe we were at a SWAT range or something, and Pincus was out there doing this thing. He was the face for the TV show, and there was a dude that was doing something out of coming out and presenting out of the car or whatever. But when he's coming out, he's flagging himself, right?
Yep.
And that's
flagging the femoral. Yeah.
That's when that really stuck to watch, because this kid, it took him a lot of runs to get this right.
Right.
And Pincus and James were correcting him, but I'd never thought about that until then.
Yeah. So but the phrase we generally hear on number 2 is don't let your muzzle cross anything you're not willing to destroy. Well, James also was a big proponent of don't tell them what not to do, right? Don't think about pink elephants, right? And then you're thinking about pink elephants.
Yeah.
That's like the example he would give all the time. So
Articulative activating system.
yeah, the thing I say is keep it pointing in a safe direction. Okay. I've also heard the phrase direction of least consequences, which makes sense too. Up or down in front of your body is generally a safe direction. It depends on where you are. Okay. I have a kid, right? So my default is up. All right. If
your daughter's room's upstairs,
then it would be down.
Yep.
You know, if I'm on the top floor of a mall and there's people below me, then I should probably point it up. If I'm on the bottom floor, there's people above me, I should probably point it down. However, I'll change that. If my kid is on my leg and I'm on the bottom floor of the mall, there's people above me. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not pointing at my kid.
Consequences that
Right, consequences. Another thing with that, keep the muzzle like in front of your body as much as possible. Now, when we go to like what's generally called a temple index, but tactical response, they just refer to it as pointing it up, right? It's not really in front of my body, but the thing is, I'm still aware of where it's being pointed. The issue becomes where, like, camera, I'm talking to John, and I'm not aware of where it's being pointed. Now it's pointed at the camera, so you would be getting flagged right there. A lot of these nuances, when I would do range safety officer at Aries, where I teach classes at in Leesburg, Florida, you just see this shit happen, right? And generally, they're not aware of it happening, okay? And it's just you don't know what you don't know, right? With that, I would, I usually approach it as like, hey, man, this is what you're doing. We need to correct this, explain why and do it in a nice, cool manner. Especially if they're with their woman, I'm not going to call them stupid in front of their woman unless they start being an asshole about it. One time I came up to a guy, and so rule number 3, keep your finger straight off the trigger and high off the trigger guard until your gun is aimed at the target and you are ready to fire. That I took directly from James, and I also phrased it, point your finger straight up like that. Like make the webbing right there hurt. One time I came up to a guy and he's like pointing it down, but he's got a finger on the trigger. And I go, hey sir, I need you to take your finger off the trigger when you're not shooting. He goes, it wasn't on the trigger.
And he just skinned one out? He shot?
No. He pops it off and says, it wasn't on the trigger. And I go, yes, it fucking was. I just saw it. And he's like, oh, right? So now I'm like fucking irritated because I'm like, okay, dude, you made a mistake. No big deal. We've all made mistakes, okay? And you don't know what you don't know. You're learning this shit because you don't fucking do this every day. I get it. And you have no training. You're never going to take a class. I get that too, okay? However, I don't want you to fucking crank one off to someone next to you or your fucking grandkid when you get home. Okay. Anyways, but the integrity violation fucking drove me bananas. Later, I come back. He was like flagging his friend. Now I'm like really getting irritated. Let's see.
I've seen James take guys' guns away and give them a wooden gun.
Yeah.
Like no bullshit.
Yeah.
Like the dude finished the class with a wooden gun.
Yeah, it's appropriate. They still get training out of it. They can learn the things. They're just not going to be a danger to other people, Mm-hmm. And I've told people that too. I'm like, fucking, you will use your finger, or I have an airsoft gun in the car or something, right? So the next time I corrected that guy, I know I'm remembering, they have to call a cold range on that range, right? So I'm going down the line, making sure all the guns are clear because everyone's about to walk down range, and it's a public range, right? Like when in my classes, you keep a fucking loaded gun on you, right? Just like tactical response.
Sure.
Because I want you to carry a loaded gun on you in public,
because
so we're going to do that in class.
Because we're not in slave states.
Right. Yes. But I go, oh, hey, man, I need you to clear that pistol. And so he picks it up, his friend's right here, throws his finger on the trigger, points at his friend, and I go, I fucking take it. And I take it away from him, and then I lock it back. I clear it myself. And I go, hey, you just had your finger on the trigger, and you're pointing it at your friend as you're going to fucking rack it. You almost threw a fucking 10 mil into him. He goes, oh, that's not good. I go, no, it's fucking not. And he goes, yeah, especially because Glocks don't have safeties on them. And I go, no. They don't need fucking safeties on them. They need you to not point it at people who don't need it pointed at them with your fucking finger on the trigger. Yeah. Oh, and so shit like that sets me off, right?
But you ingrain that, like he's gonna remember that forever.
Yeah,
forever.
And the fact they had an integrity violation of just being like, what's on the trigger? You deserve to get your ass chewed for that. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, point your finger straight up.
What's the first class you want him to take from you?
Carry pistol 1.
What does that cost?
$400. Right now, I'm gonna raise those prices. They're going up.
Yeah.
They're going up.
How many rounds of ammunition do they need?
750.
And what do they need to bring to class?
Basically appropriate range attire, jeans, shoes that are good for outside.
A pistol and
gun
how many
belt.
mags?
Bring 5. If you got only 3, you can make it work. But 5 is what you want, and really you want more than that. But bring 5 if you can.
What's the nearest airport to you?
Orlando.
How far from Orlando is it to you?
1 hour.
1 hour. Drive time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where would they find your classes at?
CombatArtTraining.com.
Combat art, but if you type in combat arts, it's going to redirect there also. So
it will,
because you're going to go buy that, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to buy that.
Right. And if you want a shirt with his rules on, I guess you'll have to come to us to get it.
Yeah. Do it. No. That, like, please.
I don't want to do it, but you should do it.
I would love. I'm not going to do it anytime soon. I'd love it if you did.
Yeah, you should put it. So put it on your business cards.
Yeah.
Put it on the back of your business card.
But I'm not. I just do the thing. Yeah.
No, you're going to send a business card out with every product that you send out, because those guys are going to give it to a friend, because you're going to ask them, hey, if you like this product and you feel that our product is worthy of you relying your life and the life of your family, please take this business card and give it to somebody else when they ask about this product.
That would also be good on a sticker.
It would be, yes.
Yeah.
But business cards are inexpensive.
Yeah.
What are we, 10,000 of them cost how much?
Like $200.
Right. Final rule: know your target, what's in between you and the target, around the target, and beyond. What I always ask my students, I go, okay, so what does know your target mean? Right? Well, know what you're shooting at, right? Yeah, of course. The way I like to describe it, though, is like, hey, positive identification and use of force. So who is this? What's going on? And then we think about use of force. Legally, what am I allowed to do? Tactically, what should I do? And morally, what can I live with? All right. And
under what circumstances do those change? When does that change?
And that gets real in depth. But the other thing I like to bring it back to a simple point on is, like, one of my favorite things that James taught was in defense of human life. Is this in defense of human life? Don't think about whose life am I taking. Think about whose life am I saving.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you see this kid? This little white kid, I guess it's a big white dude too, came up to him. I don't know what led up to this. It's all over social media right now. This little kid in a car, giant dude, comes up to him and just starts fucking just pounding him. Kid's skin. You can see the kid go for the gun early as he's getting hit.
Yeah, it was like slow.
And he puts a couple in him. I think the guy comes over, but he puts a couple more.
Yeah, he shoots him in the back of his arm. Right
so,
away.
And when we see these things, we have the perception that this just happened. I mean, this very well could have happened 2 years ago, and it's already gone through court. But curious, how, and in the heat of the moment, right? He's already fucking, looks like he's put a couple in this dude.
Right.
But he puts a couple in his back, too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, and what state is that in? I don't know any of those answers. So it's curious to see how those are going to go.
Right. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why, like, force on force is so important, and that's why I was so psyched about the idea of getting that building, because
I'm not saying don't get the building. I'm saying you got to be on. How many force on force classes are we doing?
And that's where James told me, because I'm putting all the pieces together, and I'm including what you say. James, I was like, I just want a building where I can do force on force. He points at the shoot house. He goes, that is the worst investment I have ever made. He's like, it gets used like 20 days a year, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, shit, because the first thing, before I can make, like, the impact I want, and influence that I want, and have the cultural change that I want, I do have to have money for it.
Yeah.
So
I thought I wanted to live on the beach.
Really?
So I did. So I lived on the beach. So much on the beach that sometimes the beach came in my fucking house. I hate the beach. How many people buy a house with a swimming pool and excited that it's got the swimming pool, but they don't swim in the fucking swimming pool but a couple times a year, right?
Yeah.
What could you do with the money, right, man? I'm telling you, as a dude who's done all of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had a shop right outside of Camp Pendleton. It was good because we were out of Camp Pendleton, right?
Yeah.
We had the recon Marines. We had the kids coming in. So it worked, right? We had walk-in traffic. But, man, I'm telling you right now, environment of the world, especially you're in Florida, you staying in Florida, I assume. Florida seems like a good place to be.
8 more years,
Get you some
10.
property.
Yeah.
Get a building out there. Just start putting some containers. Start putting some structures. You could build a kill house on your place.
Yeah.
Jay built a kill. Put up some fucking 2x4s. Frame it up. Fucking use Visqueen or black plastic. You can build a kill house anywhere, right?
Right.
But get a place that's yours. When you put something in the ground, it's yours.
Yeah.
You improve that place. You put your money into your stuff, man, and just start building. It doesn't have to be a big barn dominium. It doesn't have to be anything like that to start. It can be one of these sheds, and then you add a separate shed, and then you add another shed, and then you need separation. Your wife and kids are there on the property. She needs some time with her husband. You're there, but you can step onto the next building, and then you're in there working, and you're not driving, and she's not worrying about you, and she's running her business. She wakes up in the middle of the night. She can go do her thing, whatever. You don't have to leave to go do that. And then when you leave, you guys leave together. Like, we're together all the time. People are like, man, how do you make it work? I have a big fucking place is how but I say that. We didn't, man. We lived in a 600 square foot apartment for a long time. We lived in a bedroom.
Right. But you were at work all the time.
Five of us lived in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save that money. Put all your money into the business right now. No jet skis. No, like you seem good with that. You didn't pull up here in a brand new truck and shit. No. You're making payments on.
my truck's not even.
The first brand new thing I ever bought was the Tacoma and the 4Runner and that Tundra.
Yeah.
And I was 49, 50 when I bought them things. I mean, that's the very first vehicle I've ever owned.
Yeah. Now, one thing too, you and I have talked about is like manifestation, visualization.
It's real.
Fuck yeah. Like when we first met, I told you about like Ashley, like fucking, I totally manifested her into existence. Doing the interviews with James, doing the interviews with you, actually sitting right here today. Ashley was saying like before we left, like we should try to get on John's podcast.
Yeah, like, you custom ordered your wife.
I did. No shit. Yeah, no, for like real.
When you get on Porsche's, website, right, and you want to buy a Panamera Turbo or whatever, right? They got an executive edition. You can pick the wheels, you can pick the color, you can pick all of that. Like, that's what you did. You thought about it long enough till she fucking showed up.
So that being said, I've been visualizing the homestead I want, house, team room, shoot house, live fire range, growing food, homeschool building. I want to put like an outlaw church, not like a,
I get it. Yeah, we say it all the time.
Like I don't know, militant Christian, like fucking follow this shit.
Like Bear.
Yes, like Bear. I guess that's a good way to put it.
Jeff just bought a church. Like, really? No bullshit, bought a fucking church.
That's awesome, dude. That's fucking awesome. But there's a place that, like, I'll tell you where it is after this. And we'll see if that's the one I get. Otherwise, I do like the area I'm in right now, but there's a place where I'm like, I've been in my brain. I'm like, dude, I'm going to get that one. It's just going to happen. And the way things are going, they've kind of lined up.
How much property is there?
It's fucking big. I don't know how many acres, because I'm not good at measuring that shit.
10, 100?
I don't know, dude. I can't. I don't know that metric. But it's fucking exactly what I need.
Yeah.
I've used it before. It's fucking great. And it's already built up with the ranges I need too.
Good.
It's not Aries. It's I want Trey to have that. Yeah. But yeah.
Think bigger, man.
Yeah.
Think bigger. I was watching this dude. I watch a lot of these civil rights lawyer channels, right? Reviews and stuff after the fact. And there was a dude who was I think he's in Idaho, and he had built. He's like, I own enough property that you can't see what I built. How do you know that I built this? Why are you trying to lean on me and tax me over building permits? There's no way you could see this from the road. And I thought, man, that's the shit right there. Own so much property that they can't see onto your property, right? For them to come and see if you have a building code violation, how did you had to trespass to know it, right? Yeah. Well, they're flying drones is what this comes down to.
Oh yeah.
But like the Biltmores, he said that I knew I owned enough land when I could ride 24 hours by horseback and still be on my property. That's when we stopped adding land. Like, that's some real shit, right? Dude. So when you own, this is 10 acres, right?
Yeah.
If people are like, what would you do different? I wouldn't put the fucking building right in the middle.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
I would dig down, right? I'd have fucking, the whole thing would be a basement. We'd build it commercially like a fucking elevated car structure, like a parking garage. Mm-hmm. Everything would be commercial. But that's the thing, man. We bought 10 acres. We were supposed to have all of the property around us, right? The day we were signing paperwork with the dude back there on Monday, the dude killed himself. Well, somebody murdered him, really, is what happened. On a Saturday or Sunday, some chick shot him in the face with a shotgun in the bathroom. Well, that went to his son, and his son sold it to a family member. We're landlocked here, right? I can't get more than 10. As much shit as we do, I don't have access to more property. So buy what dude's like, man, I can get this killer place that's on, 2 acres, or should I buy 100? Buy a fucking 100 acres.
Yeah.
Plant that motherfucker in pines or bamboo. You can always cut it down, but like when they expand this road out here, which they are, we're losing all these trees. We're going to it's going to be loud as fuck up in here, right? Mm-hmm. So like have a plan for that shit.
Dude,
and think bigger. Like I want to make $1 million a year, right? You want to make $1 million a year. Do you know how much $1 million a year is per day?
I've done the math, but
it's $3,500. You need to make $3,500, and that's if you work Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Right. So what is it like? What does that look like? Right. You need to know on a daily basis. This is how much money I need today.
Yeah,
right?
And that's
Think
been something
bigger.
I've been measuring myself day to day in is how much product am I producing.
Yeah, but not only how much product are you producing, how much money is it making? It doesn't matter if you fucking produce $1 million in product if it's sitting in a fucking room someplace, right? Yeah. And if you want to make $1 million, you need to shoot for 3 million.
Right.
Like, but tell me the rest of your manifestation.
Okay, so along with this, I want to grow my training company to be like a world renowned, like fucking holy shit, you gotta go take this class, right? And you gotta take all these classes from them. I want to grow the gun culture. So like, green line, tactical response, fucking.
Sounds like you want to have like SIG Academy.
I don't know. I haven't really looked into them.
You want a big facility. You want
big facility, but my thing is like all these like-minded companies, like because there's a bunch of training companies, but they're fucking niched, right? Like
can we have a helicopter we rappel out of just on a pole?
That's a part of it. Well, no,
of course, it's not a part of it.
No. That's a part of it. I need a helicopter, a patrol boat, and at least 3 armored vehicles.
Sounds like 299 days.
I haven't gotten that far in it, but DTV Arms down in Nashville. I want his miniguns, just to have miniguns. I want to, dude.
Was that the dude that was just up here, or that's somebody was here with a minigun with a suppressor at the helicopter at the Green Line class last weekend?
Oh fuck yeah, that's Chris.
And he was going he was going to somebody in Nashville.
Dude, it's probably his. But yeah, he makes a. Dude,
I don't even know who DTV Arms is. I've never even heard of him.
I have a really cool video I made with him. He redesigned the minigun and put a silencer on it, and it's fucking awesome. I know, right?
Yeah, of course he did.
It's fucking insane. But the other thing is, you remember Black Hawk Down? How like they're the Delta snipers inside the crash helicopter fighting, and they weren't using the minigun. Well, he explained it in the video better than I will right now because I was on 2 hours of sleep there, just like I am right now. But like fucking, basically batteries didn't work, right? He has a battery that he got custom made that's that big that he's like, oh, we crashed our helicopter. Let me just take this, plug it in, and it would work.
Yeah.
Fuck, those 2 guys could be alive,
Yeah.
if they had that. But yes, I want that. I want to roll everywhere I go with the fucking 240 Bravo.
So when are you gonna have that?
That's the thing I need to make more clear. I haven't made it
when
clear.
are you gonna have it?
Rolling it, the total thing. In my mind, is 10 years.
Look, Greta Thunberg had like 13 years to end this world, and she didn't end it. And her tweet came to be, and everybody's like, "Oh, I guess we're not." Like 13 years ago, she said the world's going to be ended like last week. So throw it out there and make it fucking happen. When are you going to have it?
5 years.
5 years.
What's going to happen in 5 years?
5 years, I'm going to have my range, my compound. I want a building like yours. And I want just like living there. And then I want to have a team
I want you
there.
to want to have a building better than mine.
Okay.
Especially since you're going to build it.
Yeah.
Our friend Drac just bought some property somewhere, I don't know where in Florida. He just built a fucking concrete tilt-up building, like a Walmart building. It's an octagon. It's a pentagram or something. It's 6 sides. So crazy looking. He does 3D printing. He builds all of the I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. He does all the shit for all the Star Wars stuff. Lord Drac McConaughey, he was making Nerf stuff. His channel's Nerf. He has millions of subscribers on his YouTube channel. He's got videos with millions of views on them, and he does these nonprofit Nerf games for inner city youth. He rented out the entire stadium in Atlanta to do a Nerf thing, right?
Holy fuck.
And he negotiated with them. They're like, okay, well, we'll turn on half of the lights, but you got to use our security. Like crazy shit from 3D printing. And he has property in Florida. He's bought 10 or 15 acres in Florida, built it, and he's like, I'm going to build my compound, John. And he built this fucking build. I'm like, holy shit. He was out for George Lucas did something last year. Right before he came here, he had built all these Star Wars props. And I'm like, dude, where are you at? Like, where did this come from? He's like, I built it. Like, they contracted him to build all this shit.
That's insane.
That's where you need to be, right? Whatever you're thinking you need to build, you need to get on Garage Goals on Facebook and Instagram. And there's another garage thing I'll put you in. Because you have no idea what's out there. There's these guys building these barn-dominiums, and they're building them around racetracks. Full-blown racetracks or runways, right? So guys fly in with their planes, and their house and their hangars are on these properties. That's like, think bigger. Rob Bailey's working on a barn-dominium build plan design right now. He built his building out, and it's fucking incredible. You should check out Kill Rob Bailey's channel. He's been daily vlogging. He's got like 21 came out today, but every day he's been doing a vlog video. Listen to him. His business motivation and mindset. He's friends with Andy. He's friends with a bunch of these dudes. He's got his own business accelerator and private group and stuff. He's in Whitefish, Montana right now. He moved there a few years ago from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Warhouse Gym. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do an album. So he did an album. He's just did like his 13th album now. He's doing shit with Tommy Vex. He's doing like big, like amazing, huge stuff. And he didn't ask anybody, can I do this? He just did it. Like he wanted music that was more like, I don't want to have to think about all the lyrics. I just kill. And it just motivating music video. And he wanted video music for his videos that he didn't have to worry about monetization. So he made his own album.
That's fucking awesome.
And now he's made a lot of.
That's something else I wanted to do. I play guitar.
Then fucking do it. There's and how do you build all of that, right? Build it all in. It's all what you do. Learn how to set up the structure so that they're sub LLCs, and like, just think bigger though. Whatever you're thinking you want, think bigger. Yeah. Because what you're going to realize is when you get this bullshit building here right there, and you put fucking $500,000 into the build out of the building, and it's not finished, and you're like, when we bought this, I'm like, I'll never fill this. Even when we moved in, I'm like, I'll never fill this.
Dude, yeah.
And now what do we do?
I know.
I've got another 5,000 foot of building sitting out there to make this 10,000 a 15,000 foot building, but we're moving the footprint out. We can't go down.
Right.
We can't go up. When you build your building, whatever height you think you need it, make it bigger.
Yeah.
My sidewalls are 14 feet, right? I can get pallet racking, but most pallet racking's above that. So if I want to have I can have custom ordered pallet racking, but I can also buy Home Depot Lowe's pallet racking, right? And have it repowder coated so it's all my colors.
Yeah.
That matches my car lifts and shit. Run your sidewalls taller. Whatever footprints you want, make your concrete twice as big and put overhead awnings, right? Because it's going to change the heating and cooling because it's going to shade those south-facing walls. And like, you can always add on to the ends. It's easier to add on to the ends of the building than the sides. Put your basements in. Put your patios in. There's no windows in here. I'm like, no, I don't want any damn windows. Fuck, I wish I had windows now.
Right.
Right? It's just things you don't know.
Yeah.
But think bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is crazy too. Just like even just everyday normal life, you know, like moving. Ashley and I, we rented this big ass U-Haul. Like, we ain't gonna fill it. We don't have that much stuff, dude. I fucking threw away so much shit and completely filled it still.
Yeah.
And
dude, I left two Zodiacs in San Diego. I left a whole fucking dive cage. I left enough dive gear, Steel 100 tanks, Eagle BCs. I mean everything. Ranger, buoyancy comps, everything.
Yeah,
left
valuable shit.
Enough gear to put fucking probably 16 swimmers in the water at one time. Right? We left so much shit. I hauled a gym's worth of equipment out here. Fucking stupid. All that gym equipment sitting in this other building, never even been put together. I have all new gym equipment. Right? Mm-hmm. What is your time cost? Like, we rented a U-Haul van. James brought somebody bring a U-Haul back. We had a truck and a trailer, and then this big giant trailer out here. Mm-hmm. Like, what's important to you that day won't be important to you in 2 years.
Right.
Like, what can you just like, fuck it, I'll just buy it over again. I'll buy it new. Like,
Yeah.
why are we moving
Just
this?
like you said, sometimes you're looking for shit you can't find.
Get in, get
Fucking
focused,
buy
make
another
the
one.
fucking money. Everybody's worried about, I gotta do this because the world's gonna end. I'm 52, the world hasn't ended yet.
Right.
Right? So, and if you really think the world's ending, wouldn't you be better off if you had more money?
Yeah.
You're gonna have people be like, oh, money's not everything. If money's not everything, and I don't think money is everything, but if money ain't everything, how come the dude telling you that gets up at a certain fucking time every morning to go to a place he hates to make so little fucking of the money?
No shit. Yeah, that was something actually Kelly, my employee, was talking about. Was like, she hates the phrase, like, money can't buy happiness. Like, well, fucking.
Yeah, you ever see a dude fucking slide up on the beach, jump off his jet ski without a big ass fucking smile on his face? Money bought
shit.
that.
Yeah. Like,
It buys you options.
Yeah.
And money changes how you spend your time.
Right.
Right. So all these people that are telling you that if I put $100 million in your bank account tomorrow, right, legitimately yours, would you do what you're doing today? And if you said yes, you're a fucking liar.
Right.
Build a life to where that answer is yes.
Yeah, and I hear you talk about that all the time on live streams. Like, your hobby, just make that into the thing you're making money with, dude. Like, you know, I could not work a fucking normal job anymore. Like, it's
yeah, no, I'm not a good employee. I'm not a viable employee.
When I worked at a gun store, I'm like, there's the shit I used to do that should have gotten me fired. The only reason why I feel I didn't get fired was because, like, I actually had a great following of people there that would only buy shit from me. We didn't get a commission, which is retarded. But there was product there that I was like, no, don't buy that. This holster is trash. You should never buy it. Fuck. Damn, I'm following John's pacing again when I talk. I know it's like after I listen to you, I start kind of talking like, but like there'd be shit like they'd be like, I'm gonna buy this gun. I'd be like, you know, and I would never sell something to them that they wanted. I would instead
upsell them.
Well, I would convince them of the thing they needed.
Yeah.
And if they wouldn't go for that, okay, get whatever you want. But
Jacob used to come in
them.
when Chris opened the Outpost.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob used to come in fucking drunk from the night before, and he'd get on an ammo crate, and he would preach, and he'd just start talking, and fucking there'd be 100 dudes in the store standing there listening. He didn't let any rifle go out of the store without an SOE sling on it. Every fucking rifle that went out, Jacob Herman would sell them. Yeah,
That's
and
so
Sherman worked there too. Dana, Dana worked. I don't know if Dana actually worked there at that time or not.
Well, Dana worked at a gun shop.
Franklin,
for a bit.
the Franklin gun shop.
Okay, so wait, sorry. Which Chris owns?
Chris Barrett.
Oh, okay. So he owns the Outpost. I've been there. That's a nice fucking place.
Yeah, they just moved it. I haven't been in the new one, but
okay, yeah,
yeah, and that's just how it was, man. There was people.
Yeah.
When you walk in the store, guys will be attracted to the chick with the big tits, or they'll be attracted. Like they're gonna have energy, right? And you have an energy around you, whether people can see it or not, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna gravitate towards you, man.
Yeah.
They just are. And some people aren't for you.
Right.
But you're going to have, and that's that thing, man. They would come in there and buy only from you. There'd be another dude that could do the fucking, 4473 or whatever,
right.
the Dross form or whatever, but they would wait for you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that pissed motherfuckers off too. Be that every fucking place you go. Every time you walk in a place, heads up and you own that motherfucker.
Yeah. Because I took it as like, man, it's such a weird thing. I was doing a Bible study group at that time, and it was so fucking dumb because I was the only guy that was coming in there that actually done sales jobs to learn how to fucking sell. But they're like, we want a merchandiser. I just wanted to set my foot in this industry, so I'm like, okay. I ended up doing a lot of selling, but it was run like shit. Like, sorry, it was run like shit. Like I didn't have a supervisor that worked with me. I had some other supervisor to come over. And she knows fuck all about guns, doesn't know anything. She came from the apparel industry and got hired in there. Anyways, it was a clusterfuck. I hate the way the place is run, all that. But I would have rage quit like the other two guys in my section. Well, they didn't rage quit, but it was just me after like a couple months. I would have rage quit because I hated it, but I was doing this Bible study and I stuck around. Now, sticking around, I decided, okay, if I'm gonna be here,
you were doing a Bible study within the crew of the church, within the crew of the gun shop.
Sorry, I should make that more clear. No, it was a church I was going to, and one thing they said is like God anoints a person over you who's a leader and you're supposed to follow them is kind of the message. Now, I left the Bible study later. One of the things I disagreed
So you stayed
with,
within the business because of what you were learning in the Bible study.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially. But okay, yeah, and we'll just
So
before I trail off
while
on that.
you're reminiscing on
Yeah.
all the things wrong with that business, remember that from your employee's perspective in the
Exactly.
future, right?
Yeah.
How do we pay our employees more money, right?
I'm making more money.
And can you, like, I have employees in there that don't deserve to fucking be paid any more than they're paid.
Right.
Like, so you can't be like, okay, everybody gets a 20% raise.
No.
Right? I heard Bear say today, like, they're trying to bring their top line revenue up so that they can give all their employees a 20% raise, that'll exceed the cost of living, or be close to it. I was listening to some negotiations with the UPS guys, right? They want a 20% cost of living increase. They want a lot of things, right? Now, UPS is different. Them giving that money out is different than you and I, right? That money really is going to come from their stockholders.
Right.
It's not going to come from you and I. Like, as employees don't realize a lot of times, there's times when I come in and work on the weekend to have been able to pay them, right?
Right, yeah.
But then again, I'm terrible with money, right? I'm always going to do some shit. If I'm not uncomfortable and concerned, we're not performing.
Pressure.
Yes,
helps.
pressure tested.
Yeah.
We are definitely fucking been pressure tested, right?
Yeah.
Because I've done irresponsible things that
Yeah.
have put me in those positions. Not recently, not in years even.
Yeah.
But that is the case. So how do we develop the employee to be valuable enough and also bring in revenue and then pass that to the employee?
Right.
And some of them just can't. Like, they're not in a position where they can make money or bring in more money. But that definitely is the question. That's been in my head ever since I listened to that while I was in the shower this morning after I did the animals and everything. And that's been on my mind, and that came up. So just
Yeah. Take notes of, like, learn from
everybody's
all
like, I can't go to good employees. Well, pay them more. I mean, if they really are good employees, right? Do they bring more, right? So that's the question. We have people in there that do not, and then we have people that do. And have that conversation periodically, like, what would happen if this person left?
Right.
This person got killed tomorrow, right? There's no option to just be like, hey, okay, I'll give you a raise if you don't leave or whatever. You don't ever want to be in that position.
Right.
And that's what Frisella says. He's like, we have a lot of people, we pay them way more than they're worth because on the same hand, they know they can't get a better job somewhere else. And you'll hear him talk about culture.
Yes. So working there, right? I was like,
It's a good thing you know what we were talking about because I'm fucking already 10 miles away from it. Go ahead.
No, I'm following. So since I decided I'm not going to rage quit like I wanted to, anyways, the chick that I hated that was in charge of me, even though she wasn't my supervisor, she got fired, right? Because she's a fucking idiot. But I took it as an opportunity to, again, get better. To get better at talking to new people, right? Just like I did doing door-to-door, selling windows and roofs, and selling Kirby vacuums. And so I took it as an opportunity of, I'm not going to sell you the thing you want, I'm going to sell you the thing you need. And sometimes that did mean that, like, I took a more expensive item and went, this is what you should get. This is why. And I got better at communicating. Instead of arguing with them about it, I would go like, well, being this, wouldn't you agree that? And I get them to agree with me.
Yep, ask them a question that leads them into the desired outcome you want.
Right, and I learned those skills from the sales shops. Mind you, I'm not a fucking salesman at this store. They put me on retail, but I turned into like one of the best sales people, even though I never sold them the thing they wanted, But that's what led me to having a following there. Like, one of my supervisors said, fucking Andrew has a cult following. Like, they won't deal with anyone
That's what they say all the
else.
time. SOE is a cult.
Yeah. But in doing that, then I met, at that time, first, millionaire that I had met. And he was like, dude, you're really passionate about this shit. Like, he's like, have you ever thought about doing your own business? And I was in that self-doubt phase where I felt like I needed permission to start the thing I wanted to do, that I knew I wanted to do before I even left the Marine Corps. And he was like, yeah, you should get into it. They're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, training, eventually like make gear and shit, you know. He's like, you should just do that. And so that kind of led me into it. And then, you know, I wanted to, you know, take training classes, like, you know, from the places that I wanted to be like before I started, even though I had the Marine Corps background, you know, I'm like, this is important. I need to go do this first. And so I did. And then, yeah, that kind of just led me down the road to here.
It's awesome.
But, yeah, I don't know what would have happened if I would have quit that job.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
If I had been like, fuck this place, you know, and I had just left, would I have not met that guy? Would I be an electrician right now?
Yeah.
You know, because I was working as an electrician. You know, it's more dangerous than what I did in the Marine Corps. No shit. I was in infantry too. But like first day, they're like, there's like no railing. I'm up on this balcony. They raise up this crane thingy on this shitty box that's like fucking barely nailed together. And they're like, yeah, get in that box, unload all the lights. There's a fucking drop to my death that big, you know, right there. I'm like, you got a harness or something? Like, no, just get in there. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that, dude.
Yep.
But
I saw some video this morning in Ukraine. Van rolls up, this yellow van.
yeah,
Like 10 dudes jocked up in gear. They look like they're probably service, right? Yeah. And they just fucking grab this kid, and the kid starts fighting, and they put a beating on him, and they fucking flex cuff him, throw him in the van. Those are conscripts. They're taking just dudes off the street, and what's happening is they're putting them in. There's a lot of trench warfare going on. Like the Russians are digging in, like miles a day digging in. And the Russians are sending their conscripts forward, and the Ukrainians are sending their conscripts forward. And when the conscript comes back, the Ukrainians kill them. And when the conscripts come back to the Russians, they kill them. So it's basically we're using these autonomous robots, right? We're not fighting each other. They're fighting their conscripts. And that's happening quite a bit. It made me think of that when you said it was safer than being, you know, infantry in the Marine Corps. And I thought maybe not soon.
No, it was more dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I meant to say. Maybe not soon. Maybe not soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. And I think we got a building full of people. Everybody's going to start trickling in. So
yeah. Are you hanging out this weekend, or what are you doing?
I'm going to open the doors around noon probably on Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's no party, nothing. We're just going to kind of hang out and do this, whatever.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Which I think we'll be able to make it back. I have no fucking clue. I'll sleep, but.
Well, that's not the answer. The answer is I'm going to make it back. It's important enough that I'm going to make it back.
I'll make it back.
Or I have other things to do, and I understand either one of those. But whichever one's important to you, that's the one you're going to do.
I'll make it back.
Right on.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
This is fucking awesome.
CombatArtTraining.com, and because he's not a dipshit, it's the same name on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Where else?
YouTube. What about
TikTok?
I have it, but it takes down every video I try to post.
Oh yeah,
anything
it probably
gun
will.
related.
Probably will.
I could have picked a better reason to be on CNN. I built this thing from the bottom, they tore it down, I rebuilt it. I give myself a task, you can bet I could have picked a...
Do you have your own music?
Not yet.
I'll give you one that says John Willis.